Emotional vocabulary. Everyone has a way of expressing their thoughts and their feelings, but there are some times when we need a little bit extra help to understand just how to accomplish that. Today, my husband and I want to share with you about a test that we discovered some years ago that we use when we're doing premarital and marital counseling. It's called the core fear test, or the fear button test. You may have heard of it. It comes from a book called The DNA of Relationships. We can have the information for that below in the link. But for now, what we want to talk to you about is how to use this test to identify how you deal with conflict. The first thing you're going to do when you're taking the test is you're going to identify the most recent conflict. Why the most recent? Because it's the most fresh and you can remember distinctly your thoughts and your feelings. If you try to go too far back, it's going to make it hard to be able to identify those things. So first, you're going to identify the most recent conflict. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to identify the feelings that came along with that conflict. Here are some examples of some of those feelings. Next, once you've identified your feelings, you will then identify the fear buttons that were pushed. We're going to give you a list now of some of the fear buttons, but pay very close attention to the definitions of those fears. Now that you've identified the fear buttons, we want you to put a star next to the top 3. You can mark as many as you want to, because it is true, sometimes in conflicts we have more than just one fear button pushed, but we want you to star the most prevalent ones, the top 3. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to identify the reactions, because for every fear button that is pushed, there is always a reaction. Here's an example. Put a star next to the top 3. Then what you will do is you will go to the last page, and herein is where you identify how you deal with conflict. You will mark down the top 3 core fears, and then you will also mark down the top 3 reactions. What this does is it identifies your pattern. In relationships and when you're dealing with conflict with others, there can often be this thing called a dance, a back and forth. You push my button, I push your button. And some people do this for days, for weeks, for months. There are even people who do this for years. But the core fear test helps you to be able to identify how to get off of this merry-go-round. And the joy of this is, once you are able to conquer these things in your life, your relationships will improve, and you will find that your communication will improve as well. So yes, emotional vocabulary is very important, and we hope that this test will help you to be able to not only develop that, but able to grow that and share that with others. Thank you for joining us here at Stamina for Life, and remember, let the Lord build your house.